Good morning and welcome to Morning News on New Day right here on TV3. We are coming to you live from our studios at Advertisements. We are also streaming live at TV3 Ghana on Facebook. My name is Safwa Bwahine. Now to the headlines. Council of State calls on Speaker Gbagwen to ascertain at first-hand happenings in the legislature following Supreme Court's rejection of an application to stay proceedings on 4 parliamentary vacant seats. Economist calls for cap on government borrowing following concerns on the current debt level in the country. Association of Ghana Industries urges Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to swiftly end industry subsidizing residential electricity consumption. Details of this and many more coming up shortly. Now to our first story. A 5-member delegation of the Council of State, led by the chairman Nana Otio-Serbo, called on the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Gbagwen, to ascertain at first-hand happenings in the legislature in recent times, resulting in the adjournment of the House indefinitely. After a long deliberation, members of the Council assured the Right Honourable Speaker of their preparedness to assist him and the leadership of the House to resolve whatever impasse there may be, to pave the way for a recall of the House. The Speaker of Parliament gave a brief of the situation in Parliament and the basis of his pronouncements on the floor of the House. He assured the delegation of his commitment to the development of the country's democracy and its people. The release says the Council applauded the efforts of the Speaker. The Supreme Court has dismissed the application by the Speaker of Parliament seeking to set aside its ruling which asked Alban Gbagwen to halt the execution of declaring the seats of 4 members of Parliament vacant. The 5-member panel, presided by Chief Justice, held that the Speaker's application amounted to misinformation and misapprehension of the law. Here is a wrap by Lord Idwasare, my colleague.
The business of the day for the Apex Court was to decide on the Speaker of Parliament's application to set aside its ruling which had resulted in the shutdown of Parliament. But even before that could take place, Attorney General Godfrey Wadame drew the court's attention to paragraphs 21 and 49 of the Speaker's affidavit in opposition, which he described as scandalous, and prayed that it struck out. In paragraph 21 of the affidavit, the Speaker alleged that the Chief Justice was aware that the court processes were unconstitutionally served on him. In paragraph 49, the Speaker also noted that if the Supreme Court doesn't set aside its decision, it will create the impression that the court was executing a partisan political agenda. But before responding, lead counsel for the Speaker, Thaddeus Sorry, indicated to the court that Justice Gewu had previous association with the incumbent party NPP and thus wanted him to recuse himself. Ruling on the matter, the 5-member panel noted that the issue was the subject of constitutional disputes and not that of political parties. Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu, presiding over the panel, indicated that they had within its ranks a former General Secretary of PNC and former NDC parliamentary candidate. Counsel for the leader of MPP caucus, Afenyomakin, was satisfied with the decision of the court.
First defendant, that is the Speaker of Parliament, now has no excuse whatsoever to decline or fail to file his defense and statement of case to the action. So now we are poised for a full hearing and determination of the matter. No more interlocutory or interim applications.
So lawyers of the Speaker of Parliament have been given up to November 6 to file all their processes and statement of issues that will be relied on. But the case itself has been adjourned to November 11, where the Supreme Court is expected to make its hearing and then eventually make its final judgment on the substantive matter on November 11. Lord Idwasare, TV3 News, Supreme Court.
Meanwhile, a former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansasare, says the Chief Justice erred in empaneling judges to sit on the Speaker's application. Speaking on News 360, he said judges must learn to recuse themselves from issues that reduce public trust in the country's judicial system.
This is not the first time that we are having a known political activist mounting the bench. We've had it, since independence in 1957. But specifically on Justice Garu's empanelment today, I would have thought that since at his vetting, this issue, of his parliamentary candidates arose, was debated on the floor of Parliament. The CJ urged with the greatest respect in empaneling him. And the justice in question himself, could have done the needful by recusing himself. But you see, our known political and judicial culture is that it is very, very, very difficult, for public officers to accept truth and get exit. It is not, our culture to do that. And therefore, for as long as we have precedence, it will continue. But then it is up to individual justices of the Superior Court of Judicature be realistic and on occasion just decline the Chief Justice's invitation to be empaneled. This will save the nation, the shame that we are undergoing now.
Now, away from Parliament, the Ghana Health Service is advocating for people to go back to the sanitary systems put in place during the COVID time to help contain the spread of the cholera outbreak. The Director General of the service, Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boaje, speaking to the media, noted that the severity of cases being seen at Adar East is beginning to slow.
Since the declaration of the cholera outbreak in the Adar East and West districts of the Greater Accra region, more than 50 cases have been confirmed, with 2 deaths recorded. Over the week, the district security coordinating councils of the 2 districts have had series of meetings in the bid to review interventions being implemented. According to the Ghana Health Service, it has gotten to a threshold where it doesn't test every case, but treats cases as and when they come, and intensifying efforts to contain the spread by tackling the insanitary situation that stimulates the disease.
We are working very hard to contain it. The first case was in August. We were able to contain it and also sprang up again. But so far, a place like Adar West has not reported a case in the last 2 weeks. We are hoping that remains so. The number of cases that we are seeing in Adar East, the severity is low. But we need more education. We need to ensure that people go back to the sanitary system that were put in place in COVID time. Hand washing is very crucial, eating warm foods, and keeping very clean environment and making sure that people are making access to potable water. And I think with that, that's the only way we'll be able to quickly contain, because we are not going to be responsible for how other countries manage their outbreak. And if they don't manage it well, we remain at risk.
The Director General further noted that discussions are ongoing for efforts in the response against the disease outbreak to be synchronized with neighboring countries.
It's more like an importation among others, but once they get imported, we need to ensure that the sanitation systems and wash systems are in charge to be able to prevent further spread. So the public health have had meetings, and I'm sure there will be other meetings to share ideas on how to together work on it. We are also working on our people who travel out to come back and make sure that they take the necessary measures not to contract cholera and come back over.
He entreated the public to uphold cleanliness in these times.
Let's stay a bit longer on health because the Ghana Health Service says the country's Mpox case count still remains 2. The United Kingdom is the latest country to confirm a case on Wednesday, October 30.
Following the declaration of the highly infectious disease Mpox by the WHO as a public health emergency in Africa in August, more than 17,000 cases have been confirmed across the continent, with the Democratic Republic of Congo accounting for 96% of all cases in Africa. The WHO says it has been identified in Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda, and all countries that have never reported cases of Mpox before. The outbreak comes as a new strain is identified, named Clade 1B, said to be spreading mainly through sexual intercourse. Ghana reported its first case in August, identifying 25 contacts. Following the confirmation, the mother of the first case also tested positive, bringing the country's case count to 2.
We only had 2 cases, and we have not since had 2 cases. That's a mother and a son, and so far we don't have any new Mpoxes.
The service heightened surveillance across Ghana's 16 regions in the bid to detect cases early.
Still on health, and the Ministry of Health, as part of its policy initiative, has announced plans to regulate galamsey and its health impacts to eliminate lead exposure, which remains a silent and pervasive threat, particularly to the most vulnerable children. On the sidelines of the launch of International Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, stakeholders justify the need to create awareness of the dangers of lead exposure and the urgent need to eliminate its use. Lead is a toxic heavy metal that can cause severe health problems, particularly in children. UNICEF reports an estimated 1 in 3 up to 800 million children globally have blood lead levels above what is considered safe. Almost 1 million people die every year due to lead poisoning, with more children suffering long-term health effects, according to WHO. The ministry emphasized its policy direction to address lead exposure.
We have implemented several measures aimed at reducing lead and other harmful chemicals in our environment, including stringent regulations on the use of lead and protect our citizens, especially the vulnerable populations. Promise to continue efforts to protect children from heavy metals, quote-unquote, controlling galamsey and its health effects.
The galamsey fight has started when the Ghana went to sign a treaty at the Minamata Convention that is helping to fight mercury in the system. So the health sector, we picked it up because our some of the medical devices contain some small mercury in it, and we are phasing it out. So that is why we all support the galamsey fight to take it off, because that is where we have the heavy mercury and other metals over there.
Experts highlighted just how prevalent this chemical is in everyday lives and in many products used. They also gave some recommendations.
We are being exposed to them. The exposure here will mean that the chemical had the potential to enter into our bodies through inhalation, also through injection when we eat the food. Nobody can escape from the effect of lead because it's everywhere. We use them in the vehicles like the lead acid batteries. In the paint, some of the paints are still using lead, and then even the clothes we wear and the bags people, especially women, what you handle. The best thing is to not to use lead products any longer. Then there should be policy that from now we have a law or have a regulation no longer using lead in paint. Then that man is gone.
For some vendors and others, while they may not have heard of lead specifically, they are familiar with its effects and how it operates.
I
know that using metal spatulas while cooking soups and stews can increase cancer risk, as they can scrape off into pots and end up in the food we ingest.
Formerly, we used to have local metal and mortar in pounding fufu. Today, I think it's now remained as a past, but almost everybody is now hook onto the use of Fufu machine. Fufu is oral, it goes into your stomach direct. So if there is any particle, it will, in a long time, will affect you.
Safa Boyini, TV3 News, Accra. Let's do some more stories. And the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is urging the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, to completely abolish the current regime where industry subsidizes electricity consumed by residential users. Chief Executive Officer of AGI, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, argues that this practice is crippling manufacturers with high production costs, making their products less competitive in the market.
The existing regime forces industries to bear the brunt of high electricity costs, while residential users enjoy subsidized rates. According to Chief Executive of the AGI, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, this disparity hurts businesses, making it challenging for them to compete globally.
We are not asking government to subsidize the electricity for industries. We say let us pay according to the cost of service to us. So the cost of you generating the electricity, wheeling it through Gridco and supplying and distributing to our factories, how much is it? So I pay according to the cost, but I don't have to pay to subsidize the residential users, because otherwise I become uncompetitive in the market and I lose market share.
He acknowledges the fact that AGI's engagements with the PURC, aiming to level the playing field and promote economic growth, is yielding results.
They are just in a way that gradually closes the gap between industry and residential. And I think for the past 4 quarters, we are seeing that reflecting. So now the gap is closing. Even though we still have element of cross-subsidy, I think that is closing gradually. And the next couple of reviews, I expect that it will go away completely.
For AGI, the advocacy for regulatory reforms resonates with Ghana's economic development goals.
This is your election command sector or center, where we bring you all the credible news updates in the world of politics. Now to our first story. President Akufo-Addo has responded to John Dramani Mahama, comments not to debate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because he is not his class. Nana Akufo-Addo was emphatic the former president does not match up with the NPP presidential candidate in terms of class, especially when he only served 1 term, making him a class 1 president.
The president, as part of his last regional visit and campaign tour before exiting office, toured Ahafo region. He took advantage to officially commission the newly completed Ahafo Regional Coordinating Council, handing over the facility to the regional minister to be used for administrative works. The president and his team moved to Pastoral Center in Gorso to have a stakeholder engagement with chiefs, queen mothers and party executives in the Ahafo region. He responded to former President John Dramani Mahama's comment not to debate the MPP presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Mahama also was class here. Yes, a class of 1. Class of 1. I don't know what's our class room. And your class, I'm a person Bawumia about the class.
Mahama's class is only his 1-term tenure. And that is something I don't like Dr. Bawumia to associate with. Dr. Bawumia will continue another term after winning this post to be a part of Rollins, Kufuor and myself, who were handed 2 terms in office.
Muhammad, there are no 1-term presidents, no any about Bawumia.
The presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, has lashed out to or at the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to answer the 5 economic questions he posed to him and desist from hiding behind some 50 questions asking for a debate. John Dramani Mahama's campaign in the northern region has even characterized with direct questions on the stewardship of the government.
I woke up this morning and I saw 50 questions to me. It looks like our vice president has just learned those things in the 50 questions the way we used to learn Baba, Black Sheep, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Because I asked you 5 simple questions on the economy. That's all. Simple questions that Ghanaians want you to answer. You go and respond with how many compost plants, did you build, how many this did you build. That is not what the issue is in Ghana today. The American economy was in recession. The way the Ghanaian economy is in crisis today. And people were talking about immigration, talking about all kinds of useless things. You know what the Clinton people said? It is about the economy, stupid. Today, I'm repeating those words. This election is about the economy, stupid. It's not about all those other useless things about who built how many compost plants. Answer the 5 simple questions. Akufo-Addo too, I've given him 2 questions. He should come and answer them. That's all Ghanaians are looking for. You have destroyed the economy. That is the truth. Even if you look at the 50 questions he asked me, he has skillfully avoided the economy. There's nothing about the economy in those 50 questions.
That will be all for the morning news. Thank you for staying and choosing us. New Day continues right after this break. My name is Safwa Boahini. Do have a lovely day.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank. I had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the MPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. Even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the cedi and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
My head really aches, feeling cold and feverish.
Sorry. I know the solution to your problem. It is Procode.
Procode? I bought some 3 days ago, but I'm not seeing any improvement. You can even have a look.
Let me look at it. This is fake. Let's go to the drugstore. Please, we want Procode. No, not this.
Oh, but this does the same work, and it's even far cheaper.
No, we insist you give us Procode from Kojak. I don't understand why people give this fake Procode, and why they don't give the fake one, then they give you a similar one with a different name and tell you it works the same. But it is not so. The only Procode we know is from Kojak. If it's not Procode from Kojak, then we won't accept it.
Wow. So this is the original Procode. It has the logo and Kojak boldly written on it.
Yes, for quick and effective relief from headache, flu, nasal congestion and other feverish conditions, insist on Procode from Kojak.
Procode, K-O-J-A-C-H. Procode.
This advert is FDA approved.
Has fire fabrics and strength along your hands. Tango crime was when my opinion get your nice. BBI and BBI
hope you're having fun at Granny's.
Yeah, but Grandma doesn't have my favorite top chocolate spread. Hi, Mom. Mommy, please, I missed top chocolate spread on bread.
Tasty too, made just for you and me. Choco, it's chocolate choco, it's chocolate choco, it's chocolate choco. Top choco, it's chocolate.
Surprise children!
Yay! It's chocolate,
taste of chocolate. This advert is FDA approved.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
The news never stops. If it's not breaking, developing, the news lends itself to significant analysis, broad context through explainers, and the features that give stories more life. That's what we offer on Weekend Central. News, features, analysis, the full package. Weekend Central, Saturdays and Sundays at 12 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Every day on TV3 New Day.
Charlie.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I dedicate this song to all the people who are expressing small
doom so.
Light out. Light up.
What's in the TikTok?
More expressing TikTok.
What's in the light off?
Charlie, good morning. Let me say good morning to Nana Afrasika, who works with the Free SHS Secretariat, and currently they're doing a lot of work when it comes to implementing Free SHS. It's Nana Afrasika and the rest of the team at the Secretariat itself. Kwesi Kwating, he speaks for the Ministry of Education. All of you, great morning to all of you as well. And I hope that you parents are ready for school.
We are not. It was short notice. Even as aunties and big sisters.
I'm only greeting people. How are you?
Aunties and big
How are you? Good morning. Good morning.
Well, Cash Money Cookie. I'm
Hey,
yes.
Cash out.
Cash Money Cookie. So no, my name is Cash Money Cookie.
Cash Money.
Cash Money Cookie. Yeah.
Cash Money. Let me even sit like the way you are.
Cash Money, whichever way you want to call it. Yeah. When they see me, they know I have brought the money. So today, 2,000 Ghana cedis going to 4 people.
Charlie.
8,000 Yes, that's 8,000 cedis. And you know how I do sometimes, depending on how I feel, I can increase the number of people.
What's like this morning?
Star 439 hash. So today is not 10 Ghana. Today is not a jackpot.
Okay.
Yes, today is 5 Ghana. So you are using the TV3 portal, the number 2, option 2 portal. Yeah, Koko mami nyomo. So I told you the other day.
Star 439 hash.
Yes, I told you the other day that everyone who cashes out with us or who gets into the game, if you're a man, you get a very beautiful woman to marry.
What are you doing?
If you're a man, you get a very beautiful woman to marry, and if you're a woman, you get a very nice man to marry. Okay, last Friday. Now, do you know what happened last Friday?
The winners are all women.
6 winners.
Yes, we had
5,000 Ghana cedis. Only
all
one.
Women.
And from the Volta region.
No kidding.
All of them from the Volta.
No kidding. And I am moving Conorden. And I am moving Conorden.
Before, please release the machine. Just leave the machine for the rest of the people. But good morning to you, Daddy. Daddy O says good morning.
Hey.
You know he's a mobile
Chairman,
boy, right?
Pastor Bishop Okansi.
He's a mobile boy, so he's a Mobite. In Tianopawe, he's elated because right now, exactly. Hey, but mobile phone, so I'm my two no
This is last night. In fact, George Quay.
It's their time.
It's proud to be a mobile wife.
They are talking about mobile sister, mobile
wife,
daughter, mobile wife.
Mobile girlfriend. but really, shouts to the boys. Shouts to the boys.
They tried.
They did so well. When they had the face-off with Persec, I automatically, normally would support MOBA. Because my husband is MOBA. My friends, I have a lot of MOBA friends. But the way they trolled the little boys, the Persec boys, I was so brokenhearted. but they did so well yesterday. So shouts to them. Well done. Well done, team
Daddy
MOBA.
O says Papa Ro is a proud brother of a MOBA.
Proud to be a brother. but you know, there's a lot of vibe about this, and I think that it's good for the mood currently we are. And especially as the students are preparing to go to school, it also means that, I mean, it all feeds into the whole celebration and then that preparatory work to make sure that everybody is landing in all the schools who participated. But we have to say that apart from Infantipim, we also had center guesting. Action in Koteng, and then of course the Jolalians Ketasco. They also did well. They did well. So all those finalists and participated as well. We say that always make sure that you keep social media buzzing all the time. But what are we talking about? What
Nelson, good morning to you as well. You know, we mentioned pockets of doomsaw still
going
on,
he did.
Right? Where I live, I experience it. I mean, anytime, any day, anyhow, with no announcement whatsoever. So we just want to ask you this morning, where do you live? And are you still experiencing doomsaw where you live in your office, wherever you find yourself in the country? Are you still experiencing doomsaw? Welcome to This Morning. Welcome back to This Morning. If you're Ghanaian, if you do live here in Ghana, then I am sure that you've been experiencing doomsaw wherever you are. But I cannot be 100% correct. I don't know where you live. Wherever you live, wherever you ply your business from, you can call us this morning. Phone lines have been activated. Tell us exactly what your situation with doomsaw is. But whilst at that, remember that you're cashing out with us this morning. Star 439 hash if you're a Telecel or MTN subscriber. Choose option 2. Option 2 will take you to TV3. Follow the rest of the prompts. Cash out big with us this morning. 4 people walking away with 2,000 Ghana cedis. 4 people walking away with 2,000 Ghana cedis. And
that'll be each.
Yes,
so 8,000 being given out.
Yes, 8,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
8,000. Anyway, now where you live, do you experience doomsaw?
Oh yeah, constantly. I thought it was a problem. Constantly? Yeah, I thought it was a problem in my neighborhood, but I realized like consistently, the lights go off for about 3 hours.
It comes
about
back
3 hours. It comes back on. It stays on. Next day it goes off for about 4 hours. It comes back on. So I thought it was a problem in my neighborhood until we came to work one day and I mentioned it casually. And I got a lot of messages saying that the lights have constantly been going off.
So it's still going on?
Yeah, across. I don't know if it's across the country or it's an Accra problem. That's why we want to find out this morning. So you let us know from wherever you're watching us from.
If it's an Accra
problem or it's nationwide. Are you experiencing the power outages? Our first caller has just joined us on the line. Hello?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I said my name is Amin and I'm calling from Nkoko.
Amin from Nkoko. Are you experiencing the power outages too?
Yes, please. the power outages here, I think it has become a national song. So day in, day out, virtually every 3 to 4 hours. And now I'm even scared of my judges.
Wow.
Oh. You there, you move out, and before you come, the light is off. Then most of the things in your fridge
are also going bad. And
yes.
For how long have you been experiencing it?
Close to 3-4 weeks now. That's what it is. You just move out, and before you come, the lights are off.
Yeah. All right.
Then the next morning, then it comes on. Before 2-3 hours, the light is off again. So the rest of which is good. The call for him to give us a timetable is really good because I can be paying light bill, and at the end, but I'm not using the light. I'm not putting it into good use. If I pay my light bill, then or if I fall in paying light bill, I will be held responsible. But after paying my light bill, making sure I have the light free, then it's also a problem. And if your gadget are spoiled, you won't see anyone to pay for it. But if you are owing them, the state in the rush in which they will come for the money, it's something else.
All right.
So
thank you. I mean,
they have to give us a timetable for us.
So we know exactly what's happening. All right. I mean, thank you so much for calling us from Nkoko. Now, where are you calling us from? Let us know. Let's know if your lights are going off too, like we're experiencing in some parts of Accra. Is it an isolated problem? Is it nationwide? Call us and let us know. The number is on the screen. But if you have not cashed out, I don't know what else we can say this morning for you to pick up your phone and dial *439#, *439# on MTN and Telecel, and win some money this morning. Cookie, we have another caller joining us.
Good morning to you. Yes, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from
Awush. You didn't tell us your name.
I'm Nana.
Okay, Nana, let's hear you.
My problem is, this time, the light is on and off around our area. So we don't know what to do. So they come and explain this to us.
Okay, you mean Awushi, right?
And I have another problem too.
Let's hear.
We don't hear about organized labor, whether about next year the salary increment, whether is it 10%, 50% or what. They tell us something.
Okay, all right.
Because the end is going to end, so we should find out for us.
Okay.
So we don't have to plan our things.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Dizoba Martin Lolonyu says, Cookie T, the reason I'm watching you online here is because I'm living in Dumso. For the past 1 week, the lights will come on for about 30 minutes and go off for 3 hours. One ekufu ado Dumso. What's it? One ekufu ado Dumso bebre. Oh, okay. More messages coming in. Roland, if you have any, I'm trying to sift through the ones that I can read. If you have any,
all right. I have this one that has been sent to me by Obrin Kaba, who says that it is true there are difficulties being faced by ordinary Ghanaians, and for them to be experiencing power outages just in the run-up to the elections is not a good thing. Something has to be done. And then also, Sherry Giovanni says, Dumso, I do experience some intermittent power outages, but I don't think it can be termed Dumso at my end because it doesn't last longer. It takes maximum of 5 minutes to come back, and I believe it's as a result of Sunon Asogly's shutdown. And that's Sherry Giovanni there.
Okay.
We have another caller, okay, Safia Moklu says, Gan West precisely, Sansam. The light out here can be annoying, Roland. Besides this, our road from Pukwasi all the way to Nsawam is currently in a bad shape. All right.
All right. I'm told Peter T is on the telephone lines. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Cookie T.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Very well, sir. How are you too?
Fine. You shine everywhere, Cookie T. You shine everywhere.
Thank you, sir.
Peter T,
Peter T has a serious crush on me. He
I was going to ask if he was your brother.
No.
Peter T.
It's
are you a young man or an old man?
Why that question?
No, because if you have a crush on Cookie, we need a certain category of people. So I'm trying to see whether you fit the guidelines.
Oh, but this should be between myself and Cookie T, not you.
No, I'm
as a Busia opinion.
I'm the advisor on that subject. Please go ahead.
Okay, Roland. Cookie T, I've said it time and time again that Nana Bawumia administration are treating Ghanaians like puppets on the streets. Because this Dumso issue has been said several times, and this government didn't want to give us the timetable for us to run the Dumso. Now these days, You come, there's do so. The following day you leave, preparing your dressings to leave, there's do so. So where do we go? And they don't want to abide with the truth. Right? And for me, I think that the government is deliberately attempting to do everything possible to ensure that Ghanaians' minds are diverted from major issues and the core responsibility of government. And this do so is one of the topmost priorities that Ghanaians are facing today. So if they want us to believe that all the agenda that they have set when they were in opposition, then they should come up, because do so was a major, you know, that it was a major issue that won their power. When they told us that there was nothing that your mama was doing to solve the do-so issue. And now what we are facing today is even more than those days of John Mama. So what are we talking about?
Okay, sir.
But I also want to use, finally, I want to use the platform to express my feeling for Alhaji Yaokondo. I mean, you know, he's the National Deputy Coordinator for Zungu Caucus for National Democratic Congress, and he's doing fantastically well.
Okay.
So you must praise him and support him to do better than what he's doing. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Peter T., thank you for calling us too. You can also call us so we know exactly what the Doomsday situation is in your area. Fosena says, Roland Walker, good morning to you and the rest of the team. Power is stable here in Keta and Angloga. I will give the ECG 95%.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing as well. And we need more communities to tell us their experiences as well. This one is coming from Bismarck Ohiming Sunaba, who says, good morning. The team, Roland, Cookie, and Na. The Doomsaw is happening here too at New Job and North. In areas like Ifidiase and Asakorea, alongside many others. And I can tell you that we experience it intermittently. Hopefully, it will be quickly resolved. And this one also is coming from Fatiu from Aswanse, and says, for us in Aswanse constituency, we have now become used to the current power outages or doomsday. In fact, every individual in the country can tell you when a particular area will go off, and it will not be missed. All right.
Well, we have another caller joining us from Sigi. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Bula.
Bula.
Bula Matari.
Welcome to the show. Tell us, are you experiencing the power outages in Sigi?
It is not a joke.
Wow.
And given the fact that Sigi is one of the communities that we have suffered from rain, the heat is not a joke. Every single day we have light out. Every single day.
Every single day.
Every single day we have light out. And it is sad, watching on TV yesterday, and a young man would say that we are suffering from post-trauma situation because of the Mahabas thing. So it is so sad. It is just not a joke. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling us.
So more comments coming in. This one is coming from Isaac from Takrady. He says, where I live, the lights go off unannounced for more than 3 hours, as other callers are saying. I have noticed that this sometimes will happen 3 times a week. And this time around, they do it in some few hours, and then they go to some other areas to do it some few hours. And so they are not doing it for long hours. And that's the situation by way of our experiences.
Patrick Opoku says, people should know the difference between doomsday and challenges. How can you tell me your lights goes off at 7 and comes back at 10? How is that doomsday? Hypocrites. Okay. Hey, Charlie, there's a serious message here. I can't even mention the name, but he says, Roland, now is my crash. Oh, furthermore, I have been facing doomsday here in Osu most of the times. It goes off and on. But I just, what's the pronunciation of this name? What is this?
Carmine, I think these some of those shadow accounts.
I don't even know the name, but yeah. Solly Sano Moses says, rhythmical madness. Your government is the most... Oh, Charlie, your words are very harsh for this morning. I think I will just hash up on that one. When you send us messages, yes, we can understand your agitation, but please make sure that you use very clean language so that we can read your messages. We understand that you can be upset about some of these challenges, but please take it easy so you can use very respectful language. Thank you very much. Is Johnny ready? If Johnny is not ready, then let me read some more messages. Aaron Babaku says, good morning. The economy can only grow at a faster pace if there's enough room or a conducive socio-economic environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. By providing access to capital, creating a supportive regulatory environment, investing in infrastructure and promoting entrepreneurship education, governments can foster an environment where entrepreneurs can succeed and drive economic growth. Thank you for your message. Another caller on the line. I'm sure this will be the last one for the morning. Sherry Giovanni, your message just came. It says, good morning, Kukiti and the rest of the team. Ours takes maximum of 5 minutes to come back. Oh, wow. I'm currently in Angologa for Hogbachocho, and it's stable here. Good morning to Reverend Father Harry Barawusu. Okay, I think relatively it's awesome in Keta with the power outages. It's all is well there. Our last caller is on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling us from, sir.
I'm Kwesi calling from Mamprobi.
Okay, Kwesi, let's hear you. What's been happening in Mamprobi?
It's not easy. Come on. I think we've already got our timetable. Yesterday, I left the house from work and I thought maybe coming back, I will have light back. When I came back, the light is out.
Wow.
And the worst thing is, when the light goes out, my fridge, the water that comes out from my fridge, leaks my room. So I use a rack under the fridge. And I didn't know, but the light went out on Tuesday. So I don't know, maybe on Wednesday, I will have like, don't know it. When I came back, all the room is flooded with water.
Oh, no.
And I think this is very, very, very
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm so sorry to hear. I'm so sorry to hear.
We are experiencing doing so. And this is very, very, very bad.
All right, Kwesi.
Those of us from our food.
Thank you, Kwesi. I'm so sorry what you had to go through, but thank you for sharing with us. Colleagues, I think Johnny is ready. Let's cross over for Johnny's Bite. Okay, I think we'll still read more of your comments, but be reminded that this morning, 4 people are walking away with 2,000 Ghana cedis each. 2,000 Ghana cedis each. You just have to be a Telecel or MTN subscriber. *439# is the code. *439#. Please choose option 2. It says TV3 right on your TV screens right now. Follow the rest of the prompt. Cash out big with us this morning. *439#. You have to be a Telecel or MTN subscriber. And you already know the rules of engagement. Play as many times as possible to increase your chances of winning. Wally, do you have more messages? About some money. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I have this one from a couple of people. Osai Boating in Kumasi says that, well, we experience it intermittently, but I won't call this doomsday because it's not prolonged.
Okay.
And we have to be realistic. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, they have maintained the light better than the previous NDC Mahama administration. And then also Oseye J from Oda. Okay, you said that, yeah, we experience it in some communities, but I have to say that it's just something that happens once in a while here. All right.
So when the lights go off for a prolonged period, it's doomsday. When it's a short period, it's challenges. Yeah, because we've had many messages saying that we shouldn't refer to it as doomsday.
So we're going through challenges.
Yeah,
we're going through power.
It doesn't go off for a prolonged period.
Okay, so we're going through power challenges right now. So it's not doomsday.
So the outages are not doomsday unless they're prolonged.
Such a nice qualification for it.
Well, by the way, there's something amazing happening on Friday on Sunrise.
Happening?
Since Johnny hasn't joined us here, so we can
talk about
it. So on Friday, the Sunrise bus is moving.
Oh, yeah.
From Oyarifa all the way to High Street. And you have to book ahead. So go to any of the 3FM pages and click on the pinned post to sign up so you can join the bus for breakfast. Johnny is now ready for Johnny's Bite.
Forever and ever, amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Thursday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Now, Anam Zoya. Good morning. I trust you're fine. And thank you to all our, collaborators across the country who make sure that you're spreading far and wide the Johnny's Bite conversation as well. This morning is a throwback Thursday, but first, let's begin with Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. He had some few words to say to me when I sat down with him a few months ago. Listen to him. Listen to Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. He's a statesman. He's a founding member of the NPP. He's a soldier, and he's a medical doctor and a father to many. Listen to him.
Now, I've been following your program, and I think I'll say very regularly. I don't get surprised when people criticize you, but I think you are doing a good job.
Thank you, sir.
And don't at all think about what people say. Continue with the objective.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
I'm not doing it for yourself, but what Ghanaians cannot say is what you are saying, and I think we have to thank you for that.
Thank you very much. What Ghanaians cannot say is what I have decided to say, and I've told you that it is a very dangerous sport to be right when the system is wrong. It's a very dangerous sport. All manner of ploys could be employed just to come at you. Very, very dangerous sport. But we do not waver. We will not shiver. We will survive. And if you're looking for some motivation, this morning I'll give you some motivation I picked from on the streets. Listen to this gentleman.
God make a way for the sea to be no way.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
Be my God. Show me one to be me guy. West the way.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
You make a way. God make a way for the sea to be the way. I promise tomorrow to pay to the lawyer.
And that's the original version of the song that you'll be looking for. And that's your motivation for this morning. And I am giving you this motivation because I sat down with a cancer survivor in this month of October, as we wrap up the full month of October, where we had done breast cancer and also some conversation about cerebral palsy and also about dyslexia, etc. And she shared a harrowing story. Miss Anani, listen to her. Listen to Miss Anani.
But tell me, so what do you do now for a living?
I'm a fashion designer.
Fashion designer?
Yes.
Where can we find your shop? Or you sew at home?
Yes, I sew at home.
You have a social media page or something?
Mana Empire. Facebook is Abna. I think Mana Empire too. The page is Mana Empire.
Okay. You have to spell that for us so we can come and be sewing stuff from you so you can make some cool cash.
Yeah. So Mana Empire is MANAEMPIRE.
Okay.
Mana Empire.
Mana Empire.
Yeah.
Right. On Instagram?
Instagram too.
Facebook?
Facebook.
Okay. And X?
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise
do you have a child?
on 3FM.
Do you hope to have one?
Yes.
Another Miriam?
Yes, I hope to have one, but I'll just say I'll pray to God for that one.
You pray to God?
Yeah, because
inspire the baby.
Yes, no, not that one, because after the 10 cycles of chemo again, from the last year to this year,
92.7.
the chemo was not, my body was not responding to the medicine.
Right.
They just had to do another procedure again.
Right.
That is taking off the ovaries.
So, sorry about that. So your ovaries are gone?
Ovaries and the womb.
All of it?
Yes.
Because of the chemotherapy?
No, because of the estrogen is too high, and I'm still young and I'm still menstruating and all those things. So that's the only option they have for me now. So I just have to agree to it.
So you did agree to that?
Yes. It was so hard for me to agree, but the lamp was not going and it was becoming 2, now becoming 3. It was just becoming like plenty.
Right.
So the only option they had was that one. and also to stop the chemo because I was on 10 cycles going to the 11, 12. Chemo is not working.
Right.
So I said, okay.
You're just hurting yourself.
Yes. So let me do the procedure and just be okay and start the hormonal medicine now.
So that was Miss Anani, and the sad story is that she lost her womb and her ovaries. And as we close the month of October, I just want you to know and recognize that it is never too late to test and check to make sure that you are safe. And if you ever find something strange, get closer to a medical expert and get checked again. If there's a situation, be brave and bold like Miss Anani, who had gone through World War I and II and has survived. And she has a good and inspiring story to tell, and that should inspire you enough. So as we wrap up this month, and it's both for men and women. Breast cancer is not just for women, it's for both men and women. So that's our closing message for our Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the month of October. Now, sometime in the 70s, Ghana's second president, Professor Kofi Abrefa-Busia, sorry, he met the press. These days, it is not commonplace to have our president meet the press. No. Our president, the one who begged us to rule us, the one who begged us to govern us, the one who begged us to say that he has knocked 3 times that we are not listening. Put it up, that we are not listening. He has refused to meet the press since 2019. Yes, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo William has refused to meet the press since 2019. His predecessor, who also belongs to the same tradition, met the press. Professor Busia, he met the press. And this is from the Statesman magazine then. I captured this from the Statesman magazine. I told you when it comes to the documents, we have the documents. This was captured in the Statesman magazine in the 70s. Professor Busia met the press. Since there's a wider version of this document, that 11 commandments or so to the Parliament of the Republic, and giving the happening, the 10 commandments of the Statesman to members of Ghana's second Republican Parliament. 10 commandments. And we don't have too much time. I would have read them to you, but 10 commandments. But there's one that I singled out that speaks to the times that we find ourselves in. It's there, it's a clipping. It says, law number 5, or commandment number 5, you shall, and this is where Ghanaians will tell you your effectiveness as men and women of foresight. This is to the second parliament, and I'm sure it applies to this parliament, the 8th parliament. You shall, and this is where Ghanaians will tell your effectiveness as men and women of foresight. Explore all possible avenues to cut down considerably the unemployment figures in the country through a well thought out plan. To cut down considerably the unemployment figures in the country through a well thought out plan. For it is only you or your dependents, for it is not only you or your dependents or your relatives or your political allies or your strong-armed men who should eat. Let's read it again. For it is not only you or your dependents or your relatives or your political allies or your strong-armed men who should eat, family and friends. It is not only your family and friends who should eat. This was captured in the statement. The statement is pro-MPP, or if you like, pro-UP. This is what they said to the second parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Now it says each and every Ghanaian has the right to gainful employment in order to keep body and soul together. And when they will have earned their hard-won salaries and wages, you shall not enact laws to rob them through deductions of all kinds, e-levy, DDEP. You shall not enact laws, COVID-19, you shall not enact laws to rob them through deductions of all kinds with the excuse that you are saving for their ghosts after they had died. This was captured in the statement. Let's read it again. Very interesting piece. Very nice commandment. From the same political ideology to the same political ideology to them. I'm reading what their predecessors wrote and asking the government in power today, how do they feel in the parliament? How do they feel about the situation in the country? He said, you shall, and this is where Ghanaians will tell your effectiveness as men and women of foresight, explore all possible avenues to cut down considerably the unemployment figures in the country through a well-thought-out plan. For it is only you, it is not only you or your dependents or your relatives or your political allies or your strong-armed men who should eat. Each and every Ghanaian has the right to gainful employment in order to keep body and soul together. And when they have earned their hard-won salaries and wages, you shall not enact laws to rob them through deductions of all kinds with the excuse that you are saving for their ghosts after they had died. This was captured in the Statesman in the 70s. Well, President Buzia did not live the full term of his office because the same things that the pro-MPP or the pro-UP papers wrote, he did contrary, and he was ousted by the military, unfortunate as it was. But I ask our parliamentarians today and those clothed with power and authority today, this statement here on your screen is so true today, as it was true then, as Dr. Baumia would say, it was true then, it is true now. Or maybe the principles have changed, as Dr. Baumia would say that if the exchange rate is weak, your fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the fundamentals are not weak, then you warp logic and plenty things. This is what was written then. Today, ask yourself, and some of the people who participated in the second parliament are still alive. Some of the people who participated in the second government, second Republican government, are still alive. Ask them how they feel about the current circumstances in the country. It's not about calling people a character assassination, calling people incompetent, say you are biased, you are this. No, 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 no. We are speaking to documents and figures and facts. That's what we are speaking to. We are not speaking to emotion. We are speaking to what was written then and what is happening now, and whether or not the same people who propose those things believe in those things. It's a throwback Thursday. Find me Madam Cecilia Abinadape's resignation letter. She resigned, and I'm sure that you know the backstory. Some people went to steal her money, house help, collaborators, conspirators, whatever it is. They stole her money, huge sums of money, $1 million. We found some euros, CDs, some jewelry, cloth, etc., etc. Became a matter. The matter is still in court. So I'll just read the statement to you, not make any statement about it. This is a letter of resignation. I write to inform you that I wish to resign from my position as Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources. It has become, it's been a great privilege and honor for me to have been given the opportunity to serve in your government, and in an even greater honor to have worked to try and bring your great vision to our country to fruition. Since yesterday, Friday, July 21, 2023, social and traditional media have been full of stories about a court case involving a theft that took place last year in the home I live with my husband and daughter. The stories sought to suggest that I own various huge sums of foreign currencies and millions of Ghana cedis which have been stolen from my home, suggest. Whereas I can state emphatically that those figures do not represent correctly what my husband and I reported to the police, I'm very much aware of the import of such stories around someone in my position. I am resigning, therefore, because I do not want this matter to become a preoccupation of government and a hindrance to the work of government at such a crucial time. Now, I intend to cooperate fully with all state agencies to enable them fully establish the facts. I have no doubt whatsoever that at the end of the processes, it will be fully established that I have conducted myself with integrity during my period in public service, and I will be fully exonerated from all the allegations that have filled the public domain in the past 24 hours. I thank you, my dear Mr. President, for the honor done to me in giving me the opportunity to serve our beautiful nation. Sincerely, Cecilia Abinadapa. She signed this one. So that was the letter that was written. You know, the president wrote a beautiful letter. But before this one was written, when the story initially broke, this was the letter that was written, 21st of July 2023. Statement from Cecilia Abinadapa. I refer to publications dated 2021/7/2023 suggesting that I own $1 million, 300,000 euros, and millions of cedis which have been stolen from my house. there are noticeable inconsistencies between what is being discussed in the public domain and the thrust of the original complaint on the matter. I am taking steps to examine the origins of the inconsistencies and will provide a detailed response in the coming days. Cecilia Abenadapa. Good morning to the Special Prosecutor, Nkwanuma. Good morning to everybody. Yeah, I'm just saying good morning to you. I just read it's a Throwback Thursday. Now, let's do another throwback. Take me to Parliament. Public Procurement Authority. They wrote back to Parliament. Parliament had requested that they wanted to put lawyer Thaddeus Sori on a retainer and to deal with constitutional issues when the need arises in the court and also specific matters. Now, this is what the Public Procurement Authority wrote and told Parliament. This is the Public Procurement Authority. It's dated the 12th of December 2022. Request for approval to procure the services of external solicitor to support Parliament and the Parliamentary service through the application of a single source method of procurement. We make reference to your letter number PS PPA SS 1122 dated 15th of November 2022 on the subject above. At the 31st board meeting of the 5th board held on Thursday, 8 December 2022, the board could not approve your request. The board could not approve your request, and this is from the Public Procurement Authority to the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. And I just want to demonstrate to you how the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana now is on one side, and the Attorney General that is supposed to be representing the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana is also on the other side. Now, it says that as at the 31st board meeting on the 5th board held on Thursday, the 8th of December 2022, the board could not approve your request to use the single source procurement method to engage Messrs. Sori at Law as external solicitor to support Parliament and the Parliamentary service at a retainer fee of 5,000 cedis and specific fee for the conduct of constitutional cases in the Supreme Court at a fee not exceeding 300,000 Ghana cedis. The board noted that since the Attorney General is the principal legal advisor, the board is of the considered opinion that Parliamentary service should continue to use the services of the Attorney General in all legal matters. We count on your usual cooperation. To the Clerk of Parliament, a Parliamentary service, and signed by Frank Mante, Chief Executive. Attention, Mr. Cyril Kwabena Oting Insia, who is the Clerk to Parliament. Now, yesterday, I'm sure you saw the showdown in Parliament. Professor Ransford Jampo, following what happened in Parliament, this is just by way of information for you, that, yes, now, this is just by way of information for you, right? That the Attorney General now is on one side. They are the ones now, literally, if you like, for want of a better expression, fighting Parliament. Yeah. And it came up in court. You saw it. It was live on TV. I'm not the one trying to manufacture it. It was live on TV. But Professor Ransford Jampo of UTAG, University of Ghana, he had this to say. You know, yesterday I read something from Franklin Kujo for you. He called it a gangster system. And he has interest in the Santo Kofi Akpafu Lifpe and Lolobi issue. For the past 4 years, they have not had a representative in Parliament because our Electoral Commission, led by Jean Mensah, woke up one day on the eve of the election to say that the people of Santo Kofi Akpafu Lifpe and Lolobi cannot have a parliamentary candidate because they cannot participate in the parliamentary election. And for 4 years, that botch on our democracy has remained. Now, this is what Professor Ransford Jampo says. He says, well-meaning Ghanaians should worry about our Supreme Court is concerned, why our Supreme Court is concerned about the potential, about the non-representation of some people for less than 2 months, while some people have been denied representation for almost 4 years. He says, well-meaning Ghanaians should worry about why our Supreme Court is concerned about the potential non-representation of some people, and I'm talking about 4 constituencies, Cynthia Mamle Morrison's constituency, Andrew Siame's constituency, and 2 others. He's concerned. Professor Jampo is asking the question. He's a professor of political science. He says we should be worried, if you're a well-meaning Ghanaian, why the Supreme Court is concerned about the potential non-representation of some people for less than 2 months, and they have had representation all this while until this matter came up. While the people of Santo Kofi, Akpafu Lifpe and Lolobi have been denied representation for almost 4 years. He says, if you're a well-meaning Ghanaian, you should be worried. This is what he thinks. What do you think? Are you worried as a well-meaning Ghanaian? Because Parliament exists to represent all of our interests. Parliament exists so that we will all have a voice. And Parliament exists because we all cannot be in Parliament, we elect representatives to go there. The conundrum in Parliament now is that some persons who came, say, on the ticket of NDC or MPP, now say they want to either run independent, or those who came on the ticket of independent say they want to run on the ticket of a political party. And then somebody in the House of Parliament says, no, you cannot do that because the people in your constituency voted for you because you were wearing a certain party color or because you were independent. So you cannot represent them. Then they will quote Article 97 and go on and on. But I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot be explaining the legalese of the issues. But if you read black and white, some say the thing is that we didn't have to go to the court. So the Speaker of Parliament says, okay, if there's supposed to be something coming in and I don't think it's, then John Sinedine, forever and ever, I'm going to sit somewhere, wait for you. When you finish, then we come. Yesterday we saw the showdown in Parliament. We will wait for when the matter is determined. But Professor Jampo says that if you're a well-meaning Ghanaian, you should be worried that our Supreme Court, because the Sao matter also went to the court, and in fact the court asked them to go back to the High Court to go and begin from there and climb up to the Supreme Court. So he is asking why didn't Franklin Kuja yesterday asked why didn't the court, for example, ask Alexander Afenyo-Marking to go down to the High Court and start from there and climb up? These are questions that people are asking. These are intellectuals who are asking their questions. I'm only re-echoing the questions they're asking. I'm not adding my slant or my opinion to it. Now, there's a call for a debate. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says, let's try have a debate. John Mahama says, I have asked you 5 questions. Answer the questions. Questions about the economy. Why don't you no longer talk about the economy? Can you talk about the exchange rate? Dr. Bawumia says, I've given you 50 questions. And Dr. Bawumia is the habit of giving a lot of questions. Give Mr. Atta some questions. The questions remain unanswered. People say, now that he is vice president, since the exam is set for the student has not been answered, he should answer the question. He has not answered those questions. Now he has added 50 more questions. And he says, if John Mahama wants an answer to his 5 questions, he should come for a debate. His boss, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is also talking about a debate, sadly. Then the question the ordinary Ghanaian will ask is, Nana Addo, who didn't participate in a debate in 2016 and also refused to participate in a debate in 2020, now thinks that a debate is necessary. In 2016, he didn't participate in a debate. In 2020, he didn't participate in a debate. Dr. Bawumia was with him. He didn't impress upon him to participate in a debate because the debate is necessary and to answer the questions. Today, he thinks that it is necessary to participate in a debate. Somebody says, if you participate in a debate, you're actually going to clean up somebody's mess. Listen to what Dr. Bawumia said about debates in this country. Listen to him.
And today, John Mahama says he wants a debate on the economy. Now I want to challenge him to come to Sangba and debate
the best
with the
in the
people
morning
of Sangba
is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
He should tell the people of Sangba what he has done for them in the last 8 years. And he should go and debate with businesses that have collapsed because of doomsday. He should go and debate with farmers who cannot buy fertilizer because of his policies.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Who cannot access loans because of high interest rates.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Because his government is not paying. He should go and debate with teacher trainees who are not paid allowances because
the best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Who are not paid allowances because his government has refused to pay allowances. He should go and debate with the unemployed, our youth who are looking for jobs because his economy is collapsing. He should go and debate with drivers who are facing a hard time because of high insurance and molestation by the authorities. He should go and debate with cocoa farmers
92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
You should certainly go and debate with people who cannot afford to pay electricity bills.
So there's a litany, and we'll play a very last video and wrap up, Shaq. So these are the people, and the list is exhaustive. We have not finished. But Dr. Baumia says that John Mahama, back in the day, should have gone and debated all those people before coming to ask for a debate. So now ask Dr. Baumia and the people who are pushing for the debate. Have you finished debating all these people? Domestic debt exchange program people, school feeding. Have you finished debating all of them? When you finish debating them, I'm sure you can cut, because that is the standard you said. The marking scheme that you said, I'm sure that you should be fair to yourself and apply the marking scheme. But finally, this is our last video. Agenda 111. In the heat of COVID, Agenda 111 was used as a political tool to win an election in this country. When everybody was confused, and I'm happy to be part of the infectious disease center that we built. We contributed as private sector to build that. I'm happy to have been part of it, to have sent my widow's mite. Agenda 111 was used as a political tool, a campaign message in the heat of the COVID pandemic. It started with 88, then we moved it to 111. We still are using it for political gains. La General Hospital remains unbuilt. La General Hospital remains unbuilt. Agenda 111, so far, how far? Because we gave ourselves 18 months from the time it was announced. How many months has it been? And Nanado is used to saying 18 months. I'll transform Ghana in 18 months. Listen to what the president said in Parliament. Listen to him.
I have to report, like all major construction
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
we gave for the completion of Agenda 111 was overly ambitious. Identifying suitable sites around the country, for example, has turned out to be even more problematic than had been anticipated. I am now able to say that a great deal of the preparatory work has now been completed, and work has started at 87 of the 111 sites. I've been assured that preliminary work on the remaining 24 sites is ongoing. We have every intention of seeing this project through to its successful end, which will enable me to commission all 111 hospitals before I leave office on 7th January 2025.
That's what the president said. It is a few days, Mr. President, a few days. Have you finished? Or the Agenda 111 is not a priority of priorities? I greet you. Good morning. Enjoy your breakfast. See you tomorrow. Please call us 055-924-2717.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
One choice, multiple styles, all big, all unique.
Ready for school? Yes! My champs, they use a lot of energy at school. I know because imagine the energy they may have used up to return home this transformed every day.
Your champs need nourishment and energy. Give them the Milo Energy at breakfast, now with vitamin D that supports energy release to help their daily performance. Milo, energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
What
Once upon a time, in the heart of Accra, a man in his fancy car sought directions. But oh, the Ghanaian way.
Hello, bro. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you please show me where the Presby Church is?
Oh, sure. Go straight. 10 left at the big mango tree with the broken branches with most of the mangoes falling. Right after that tree, there is a water cellar. If you reach, ask there. Anybody will show you.
When the Black Stars take to the field, every Ghanaian becomes a coach. Why Fatika on to be dribble? The coach must go. The sacred cue for our beloved Gobe. As we wait patiently, rehearsing the perfect fight.
Have you acted? Mami Gobe Nubi, the Kokono. One Garino.
These, my dear ones, are some few moments that makes our Ghana truly special.
And as we share these stories, let us also remember a plate of lele rice, connecting our hearts through the flavors of our culture. Lele rice, ye nimno free tete. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Ma.
How are you and the kids?
Grandma, I miss you.
Is that a Pia? Didn't she go to school?
Oh, no. She's just recovering from malaria.
You see why I don't like to come and visit?
Oh, Ma. Now we have the new treated nets for every room.
Are you serious?
Yes. Even your room has the new treated nets.
Adwa, then you'll be seeing us soon.
Yeah, now I sleep under my new treated net every night.
Are you serious?
Your insecticide-treated net now comes with a new type made for your sleeping comfort. The new net is very strong, highly resistant and just as effective. Remember, a treated net is better than no treated net. Sleep under it every night and throughout the night to avoid malaria. Let's come on board Good Life to eliminate malaria now.
Good Life, live it well, it's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID and the US President's Malaria Initiative.
Papa Sammy! I beg, if you find something small, give us.
Bro Sammy, you see, nobody say boys no one do nothing and just they rely on handouts. Jobs no deep.
I understand your hassle. Hope they come. John Mama they come do the National Apprenticeship Program where he go sort you guys.
Brother Sammy, waiting with that.
John Mama knows say no be everybody where won't work for office. Like me.
I want this, true.
Under the National Apprenticeship Program, young men and women where they won't learn craft will be enrolled under the program and attached to a senior craftsman who will train them for free.
I beg you, mechanic day inside. Me like this. I don't want to learn mechanical, but the course no.
Mechanics day inside. Yeah. Organizing, dressmaking, fabric making, catering, hairdressing, tiling, painting. What they even sweet about this whole thing is say when you plead, the NDC government go make sure say they go give you certificate where you go fit take go look for job anywhere.
That's sweet. Oh, that's be one waffle.
Another one waffle thing be say when you plead, the NDC government go set you up with startup capital and equipment to make sure you can start your own business.
Wow! I dey go shopping my town wait 7th December.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
If you're looking to listen to thought-provoking conversations, to avoid any further brouhaha, all this English to just say, I will do nothing. I will ghost him. So like what you feel like that?
I'm suddenly not feeling too well.
Answers to life's big questions. Has someone asked you to do kapoha before?
I don't drink.
You go to church and pray for miracles. But that's somebody's money.
The owner is going to come.
For a show filled with excitement, laughter, and unforgettable moments.
Me, I live life full of drama to the left, to the right. If you see me, look this side, eba.
To games that keep you laughing. What in the name of Peppa Pig is going on here? Just As Tonight is the place to be, where the fun never stops.
Just As Tonight shows Fridays at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Onga. Betway. Get ready for the culinary showdown of the year. Kitchen World! Champions will rise.
Tell me what you're cooking.
Who will impress our judges and who will go home? Tune in to find out. This is Kitchen Wars Season 3.
Kitchen Wars is brought to you by Kivo Foods, Everpack, Mazim Foods, Miss Cookie Spices.
Hi viewers, my name is Defenzi. Have you heard of Cash Out? Yes, I have won on Cash Out. It all started one day, my wife was telling me about Cash Out, Cash Out, Cash Out. I was like, what at all is this Cash Out? Okay, so I had money in my Momo and I decided to give it a try. Then I left off to work and I got a message, wow, 5,000 Ghana cedis. Can you imagine? Next week I did it again and I won another 2,000. That same week, my wife also won another 2,000. Cash Out is real. Wow, I'm enjoying. Do you watch TV3? Star 439 hash. Star 439 hash. I will do it over and over again. You too can be a winner.
TV3 and on television, online, pretty much everywhere. There was a live streaming of the proceedings of the Supreme Court where the court, by the end of the sitting, dismissed the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin's application seeking to overturn the court's earlier decision staying the execution of the Speaker's declaration of 4 seats vacant in Parliament. This followed an application filed by the leader of the MPP caucus, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. Now, according to the Supreme Court, the application was without merit. According to the Speaker's lawyers, the Supreme Court lacked jurisdiction to hear the matter in the first place. The back and forth still continues, and the court has said that the substantive issue would be heard on the 11th of November, and we're all waiting. But what does this mean while we wait? What does this mean for proceedings in Parliament? We know that Parliament sittings have been suspended indefinitely by the Speaker. To discuss this, we're joined in the studios this morning by the women. It's a Thursday, our favorite day of the week, because all our women come in studios to discuss these pertinent issues. This morning, we're joined by Professor Benedicta Yayura Fosu-Mensah, member of the NDC National Communications Team. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Yeah. Good to be on your show.
Amazing. Also on the show this morning, we're joined by Rodlin Imuro-Iyana, member of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Good morning, Rodlin. You know, you inspired me to wear African print.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I knew you were coming today, so I went to grab my Blisco. Yes. Because I knew you'd be an African prince.
Yes.
Also on the show this morning, Laura Musa Saka, communications team member of the NPP. Good morning.
Good morning,
Deputy CEO. Add to that one. Continue.
Please.
Good morning, Nana.
Please, would you like us to add your other rankings and positions? Nanaya is asking me
Deputy
to add.
Executive Secretary for the Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission.
And
that's all.
That's all we will
That's
mention
all for
today.
now.
Okay. All right. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great to have you. I've missed you. We haven't been on together in a while. Yes. And also Nanaya Achimpim Jantwa, former CPP General Secretary. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Executive Secretary.
Executive Secretary of COSECA. Is that all for today? Or would we like to add some more?
A lot for today.
That's all for today. Ladies, you're welcome to the show. Did you follow the proceedings yesterday on TV? I saw that you brought your constitution this morning, Nanaya. After last week's show, I got a lot of messages about your breakdown of the constitutional provisions. So when I saw your constitution this morning, I knew that we were in good company. So we are going to be relying on you. We are going to be relying on you for, a lot of insights into the constitution and what all of these things mean. But I'll begin with you, Nanaya. Why not? You are
lawyer by family
our lawyer present this morning. Okay, but
Beatrice will be here.
No, she's not here today. But for those of you who missed the proceedings yesterday, here is a short video of the Chief Justice's pronouncements during her ruling yesterday. Let's take a look.
We have considered the application and find that the grounds supporting the application have no merit because of the very explicit and clear directions of the 1992 Constitution, specifically Article 2, Article 130, and Article 296, and established decisions of the Supreme Court from decades of the country's constitutional history.
As the Chief Justice yesterday during the proceedings in court, she said that the application had absolutely no merit. And the application, one of the statements made by the lawyers of the Speaker of Parliament was that the Supreme Court lacked jurisdiction to hear this matter. Now, legal brains have been speaking, lawyers, former judges, and the former director of the Ghana School of Law, Mr. Kweku Ansan Asari, also spoke to us yesterday on News 360, and this is what he had to say.
This is not the first time that we are having a known political activist mounting the bench. We've had it, since independence in 1957. But specifically on Justice Garu's empanelment today, I would have thought that since at his vetting, this issue, of his parliamentary candidates arose, was debated on the floor of Parliament. The CJ erred with the greatest respect in empaneling him. And the justice in question himself, could have done the needful by excusing himself. But you see, our known political and judicial culture is that it is very, very, very difficult, for public officers to accept truth and just exit. It is not, our culture to do that. And therefore, for as long as we have precedent, it will continue. But then it is up to individual justices of the Superior Court of Judicial to be realistic and on occasion just decline the Chief Justice's invitation to be empaneled. This will save the nation, you know, the shame that we are undergoing now.
That's former director of the Ghana School of Law, Mr. Kweku Ansah-Asare. Now, a lot of legal brains have been talking, and as we go, we will share some videos of some other lawyers and what they have said about the ruling of the Supreme Court. But the issues are many. Ladies, before the court yesterday were issues of natural justice, issues asking one of the justices to recuse himself because he was a former parliamentary candidate for the MPP, the issues of jurisdiction. But at the end of the day, the question still remains, what next? What happens to parliamentary business? What happens to the many urgent issues on the floor of Parliament which need to be considered before Parliament rises after elections? And the questions are endless. But let me just ask you first, Prof, what's your general perception of how the matter has unfolded up to this point is?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to our cherished viewers. Now, I see this whole thing as a political gimmick.
Political gimmick? Political
gimmick. And it's so sad and very shameful to us as a country after having come this far, and we seem to be retrogressing as far as our democracy is concerned. I'm so surprised that in this 21st century, we are now trying to understand our own constitution, a constitution that was written by us and for us. I don't think it was you lawyers that wrote the constitution, and so you need to be a lawyer to understand the constitution. It's so clear, Article 97, Clause 1H, 1G and H. It's so clear under what circumstance one will have to vacate his or her seat in Parliament. It's so clear. And when you look at all political parties, as one of the mandates for you to form a political party, you should have a constitution as a requirement for EC. And every political party has a constitution. NDC has a constitution, and the same way NPP has a constitution. In NPP's own constitution, it says that one forfeits his or her seat once you declare yourself as an independent candidate or you support an independent candidate. It's so clear. In 2020, they use the same constitution to declare a seat vacant. And I'm just wondering why today, in 2024, we are saying that the Speaker, Michael Quay, erred in 2020. In 2020, when it was convenient for them, it was okay. Not even the Supreme Court saw anything wrong with it. We all allowed it to pass. Today, shamefully, the people who applauded the then Speaker are today saying that the Speaker erred. Where were they when the Speaker declared that seat vacant? Where were they? And you see, it's so sad when our judicial system seems to be meddling in politics. See, these are institutions that are our last resort. When everything fails, that is where we go to seek redress.
Why are you saying meddling? The matter was brought before the court, and that's why the court pronounced on it.
It's because of the happening. Now you can more or less predict a case that, you know, the judicial is yet to sit on. People are able to predict that this case, it will be 5-0, it will be 7-0, it will be 6-0. And it always turned out to be so. Look, yesterday, I did not really watch the live coverage. I was just monitoring it on platform. And before the pronouncement, there were people who made some predictions, the outcome. And it turned exactly so. Now, I think it's very worrying. And if you look at the public perception about our judicial system, we are seeing that about 65% of the public seems to trust the judicial system.
You're referring to the Afrobarometer report?
Afrobarometer report says that. And it is worrying because this is an institution that is our last resort. So if today the Supreme Court is saying that we need to go and interpret our constitution. It's worrying because it's in black and white. Look,
yes,
now, yesterday I just tried to practice
a lot of provisions in the constitution are brought for interpretation all the time. This is not the first time.
Nah.
Even though it's in black and white, sometimes if two or more people infer different meanings to a provision in the constitution, then one of them or all of them can come to the Supreme Court seeking interpretation. And it's something that we have been told happens often. This is not the first time. So it's not out of place.
So we are saying that the Constitution, the 97 clause 1, G and H,
yes,
it's not clear. Look now, to be frank, we are all just to be pretending. And it's so sad when the Supreme Court, the highest court in our land, seems to be playing some kind of gimmick. Because look, yesterday, I just tried to see if it's true that the Constitution is really not clear. And so the MPP leader wants Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution. So I gave the Constitution to my JHS child to read that clause and tell me what she understands about it.
What did she say?
You will be so amazed.
She said to read it.
You will be so amazed. And you know, at a point, I wanted to record whatever she was saying and then let it be played for people to hear. This is a JJ. She said exactly what we are saying, that
all right,
it is clear that the Constitution, and for that matter, that clause is not referring to a futuristic
it's
condition,
not ambiguous.
as we are saying.
Okay.
It is not ambiguous.
All right.
And it's so sad when the Supreme Court is saying that if these seats are declared vacant, we deny people or the constituents of those constituency representation. What happened to SAR? Are we saying that the 4 seats are more important than people who have not been represented for the past 4 years? And Supreme Court have not seen anything with it.
Let me read what the Chief Justice said. She said, these Ghanaians would have been left without a voice and representation in Parliament from 18th October 2024 until 7th January 2025, when the 9th Parliament can duly be constituted in Ghana. But let me move on to Rodlin now. Rodlin, we spoke about this, some aspects of this last week. There has been a new development. Has your position shifted in any way?
It hasn't. The same. We're still having predictable outcomes. And it's even getting more ridiculous. Because for me, ego is at play here. On both sides. That's the Atuforsen, Honorable what's his name? The
Afenyo Markins.
The Afenyo Markins. And at the moment, I think the CJ. She wants to exercise her powers. I listened a bit, and the part that got me was that part, October to January. These people were just going to lose about 4 months of non-representation. Yet we have people, SAL, 4 years. Are these people more Ghanaian than the people of SAL? Santro Filolobi, Akpafo, and Lekebi,
yes.
Likwe. Are they more? I mean, she shouldn't even say that. She shouldn't have said that at all. Because for me, she was trying to find a good enough reason to say whatever she wanted to say. It's quite unfortunate that at the moment the judiciary is ranking so low in the minds of Ghanaians, and that for me is not good for our democracy. I don't know how we are going to salvage this situation, because these are people whose tenure of office is almost impossible to get them out so easily. So it means that we might be saddled with them for a while. And if it's this is the way they are going to be handling political and legal cases, because I don't know whether this case was handled politically or legally.
It's not a political case. It's a constitutional matter according to
political
the courts.
lenses.
It's an issue of constitutional interpretation
with political lenses. That's the way I see it.
Because the players who brought it before the court are politicians.
Yes, so it's a constitutional matter with political lenses, and somehow we are asking ourselves whether the CJ is actually listening to Ghanaians, is actually reading in between the lines against the party constitution, that's the MPP party constitution, that of the standing orders of Parliament, and that of the national constitution. So for me, I even asked myself, I expected the AG, that's the Attorney General, to be on the side of what is in the constitution and not be leaning, like I saw it, towards what the CJ or Afenyo Markins had brought to courts. It's about time.
You think he's going contrary to what's in the Constitution?
Yeah.
But it's what's in the Constitution that they are trying to decipher in this matter.
Well, they are deciphering it wrong. We can all read.
But that's for the judges to say.
We can all read. Like my colleague here said, the Constitution was not written by lawyers. In fact, the Constitution was written by butchers, carpenters, teachers, and all the other people that represent this country.
There's a reason that there's a clause stating in the Constitution that if a matter needs interpretation, it be brought to a matter in the Constitution needs interpretation, be brought to the Supreme Court. It's because the framers of the Constitution foresaw that there will be provisions in the Constitution which people will have adverse or different meanings to. It's the same provision, but when you read it, you feel it means one thing. Someone else reads it, they feel it means another thing. They can come to the Supreme Court for interpretation. There's a reason that provision is there. Because of situations like this, even though it appears simple to use black and white, but people might infer different meanings to one statement in the Constitution.
It was used, and it favored a group, and they accepted it. So what's different about the wording? We have not changed any page or any wording in the Constitution. It is the same Constitution that was okay for them. So why is it that now it's not okay? That's my question. So I'm saying that Constitution that is written is sold everywhere. We all buy it, we all read it, and we all understand it the best way we can. And I am saying that almost every political party has this clause picked up from the Constitution that if you leave and you go independent against a party's candidate, you are out. So if the national Constitution is saying that, then I don't see any reason why it should be interpreted in any other way.
All right. Laura, too.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to our viewers, and good morning to everyone around the table. Now, context is very important in this conversation that we are having. And to go back to Prof, I like the way she nicely centered it on the current second deputy speaker. I mean, in the context of fairness and being objective, I don't know why they are silent on the case of Honorable Tanya Ono, who at a point in 2012 said the NDC broke his heart. The NDC gave him 1 week to rescind his decision. He didn't. Was he ousted out of Parliament? He wasn't. If he was, I stand to be corrected.
Did he go independent?
He went independent. He filed nomination to go independent. But he kept on saying, I'm still a member of the NDC. That can also be considered as a precedent, unless I'm getting it wrong.
Honorable who?
Tanya Ono. He was MP for Lower Manya-Krobo in the Eastern region. To the extent that they sacked the whole constituency executives of the party. They gave him 1 week. He didn't agree. He filed nominations. Unless there are some details that are missing, that can also be treated as a precedent. Then fast forward to what we are discussing now, what has caused the 2 MPs and the independent MP and an MP from the NDC side. When the speaker made that decision to adjourn Parliament indefinitely, he made it within the standing orders. Have you heard anybody contesting it? Because that is his jurisdiction. The standing orders are what are used to run Parliament. But in his decision to declare the 4 seats vacant, he made reference to the Constitution. That has been quoted copiously around this table. Who has jurisdiction to interpret the Constitution? It's the Supreme Court. It's the Judiciary. We have a system where we have 3 arms of government that check each other. The executive cannot do a lot of things, especially to do with budget, consolidated fund, and all that, without recourse to legislature. Why are we all having representatives in the legislature? Because whatever the executive does with our taxes, with anything that comes to them, must be endorsed or certified by the people. That is why we all have representatives in the Parliament. So an MP wins an election, and the MP sits in Parliament representing a constituency. The Constitution is what guided. We've come from far, from Gold Coast to First Republic, Second Republic, Fourth Republic, 11 years of undemocratic rule, military rule, to 1992 when we had the Fourth Republic. We've seen speakers. Speakers have taken decisions. I don't think the current speaker agreed with his predecessor when he made a decision on Honorable Isiama. But now it's convenient to use it as a reference point. Let's even say that we are using that as a reference point. What was the process? The party wrote to Speaker. Has any of the parties made that? But you see, a former minority leader goes to stand on an NDC campaign platform and makes such a statement. And you think the majority in Parliament shouldn't react? But be as it may, it's the Constitution that needs interpretation. Who has to do it? It's the Judiciary. They said stay. I mean, but from my layman's of understanding of stay of execution, you hold on to the decision. You don't implement it until the case is determined. That is what I've known. And being in politics for quite some time, there's been a lot of legal things, so you tend to pick some of these things. Some of these basic things you don't need to be a lawyer to understand. He also made an application, and yesterday he said the substantive case hasn't been heard. Stay the decision. As for the bit about people not having representation and all that, I mean, with all due respect to the people of South, they need to be represented, and I think we haven't been fair to them. But to compare the situation of South to what is happening, forget about the 4 seats that have been declared vacant. If there's no Parliament, where would the representative of South be?
What do you mean if there's no Parliament?
If there's no Parliament sitting, and we even have a representative, how does the person represent?
Why would there
South?
be no Parliament?
As we said now, is there a Parliament?
Sittings have been suspended indefinitely.
There are a lot of key things that have to be considered in the interest of Ghanaians that our representatives in Parliament are supposed to
But
ensure.
your MPs came to Parliament and they vacated the chamber, leading to that indefinite suspension.
Now, if a decision is taken and you disagree with it, will you go and authenticate it? So a decision was made by Speaker. Majority leader took it to court. The court said, stay. Then we are coming to Parliament. That decision has to be stayed. And you come and sit where we're supposed to sit. Do we come and fight you? Because this 8th Parliament has seen a lot of those fisticuffs. I think.
But you have just said that representation is important.
Of course.
And without Parliament,
yes,
in fact, nothing can be done.
No, but
So if the members of parliament have arrived in the chamber, and yes, the issues of chairs have been, we've talked about it way too much up to this point. But like you said, representation is important. So if you are there to represent your people, and people are sitting on your seats or whatever, you don't agree, why do you vacate the chamber? Why not wait for the speaker to come in and speak to the matter? Listen to, in fact, just out of respect for the Speaker of Parliament.
Is there a reason why sites of Parliament are demarcated for sites?
I suppose
there's a reason.
I suppose
it's all part of the parliamentary proceedings. So if one group decides to, you help them abuse that aspect of the proceedings. I don't think that was what you were expecting them to do.
The way to go.
Right. And even when, before the speaker even came, they had a leadership meeting and all that. It's not like they just left everything. They were at a leadership meeting.
But where has that left us? That has left us with
it's left us where we are now.
Indefinitely, adjournment indefinitely.
But at the end of the day,
of proceedings. What happens to the urgent government business that has to be done? The voice of the people, the representation you speak of, what happens to all of that?
But if a decision has been made by the state institution that is supposed to interpret our constitution that we are using to make the decision, are we not supposed to adhere to it? That is where we are. That is where we are. Oh, Auntie, I made a statement that when the speaker suspended parliament indefinitely, it was within the standing orders. Nobody has contested his jurisdiction on that. But there's an issue of interpretation of the constitution. That is not the jurisdiction of parliament.
All right.
That's the jurisdiction of the judiciary.
All right.
And they've made a decision on it. Stay the decision. Let proceedings go on. The substantive case will be heard. But let us also commend the Council of State for intervening.
All right.
Yesterday, a 5-member committee from the led by the chairman of Council of State, because Council of State is there to, they are voted representatives equally from all the regions and some appointed representatives. They had a good conversation with the speaker. I know that one.
We'll wait to see, what happens from there. But now let me come to you, Nanaya, resident legal practitioner on the show this morning. What do you make of? I mean, we spoke about this last week, but now there's a new development following yesterday's ruling by the Supreme Court. Where do you stand on this?
Good morning, good morning to your viewers, and good morning to my sisters and my auntie here. Now, the Chief Justice quoted Article 2, and Article 2 is about when someone makes a declaration and the Supreme Court says that they should stay execution, it has to be done because it says if you do not do it, is a high crime and you have 10 years. But my issue is that this Article 2 has got nothing to do with the substantive issue. Because you see, Laratu said something here. He said that some of the laws and provisions, you don't need even a lawyer to interpret it. And that statement goes with 97, G and H. You don't need a lawyer to interpret it. And this constitution is for the people of Ghana. Clause 1, it says that the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised, in the manner and within the limits laid down in this constitution. So typically, broadly, if you are saying anything, this book belongs to us. So if there is a provision that is so clear, I do not think that even we should take it to anywhere for interpretation. Number 2, now, what the Supreme Court did, they could have just given us the interpretation instead of us going through this trouble. Because they said they were going for an interpretation. Why a stay of execution of Speaker's declaration? They could have
that the substantive matter will be heard.
No, but they could have just interpreting it. You don't need a long distance to interpret a clause. 2 clauses.
We don't know what it takes.
No, but I'm saying that I don't think it takes much. If you really love this nation, The 9 hours you used to declare, because if they had just interpreted and said, okay, G means this, H means that, by now we would have settled into our bosoms, and we would have then known what it is. Do you get me? So why do we go through all this problem? A stay of execution, no, because they should just interpret the thing for us. We have a few days to elections. Do you understand? Speaker is in his house, oh. Chief Justice is in her house. The President is in his house. Separation of powers. You, the media, you are also in your corner, fourth estate of the realm. So, everybody has their power in their own domain. And I listened to Oseiche Mensah Bonsu and Joyce. And you see what they said was so synonymous. They said that this could have been dealt with internally.
In Parliament.
In Parliament. They said these are experienced parliamentary legislators. They said this could have been dealt with internally. There was no need to go to Supreme Court to seek interpretation. You have heard now Mamile Morrison, Madam, good morning. Me, I love her. Mamile Morrison, at the weekend, what happened in her constituency? There was a clash. Have you ever seen two parties clashing? Like parties, I don't know, like the
people
same
on the
party.
same side.
Have you seen them clash? This one, independent MPP, they clashed. So what is Mamile doing sitting in Parliament on the ticket of the MPP? Her heart is not even there. So why are they forcing it? Me, I don't even want to go back to their constitution. Their constitution says exactly that you forfeit your position when you become an independent candidate or you join another political party. It is clear. It is in tandem with the constitution. G and H. Laratu was saying procedure. When you read 97, A, B, C, D, E, F, there is procedure to exact those clauses.
Yeah.
When you come to G and H, there is no procedure.
It's automatic.
It is automatic. And even the MPP constitution says automatic. You forfeit your position as a member of the party. Automatic. Instantly. You press and it is going. Leave. So I don't see why we are wasting our time over all this. But you see, now it is sad that there is a state hijack by the MPP.
A state hijack?
Yes.
What does that mean?
They have hijacked our nation and we will take it back.
Hijack?
Yes, because they want to do what they want to do, they do.
What exactly are you referring to in this context?
I'm referring to everything. This constitution is clear. This is our constitution. The sovereignty of Ghana. It has stated 97 G and H that when you do A, B, C, D, you are out. The MPP is trying to tell us that because of them, because of their egos, we should go through all this trouble.
Because they went to the Supreme Court?
To do what?
To seek interpretation of the Constitution.
It's not every clause in this book that needs interpretation. Okay, what is the meaning of the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people? Do you need interpretation?
If you want it interpreted, you can go to the Supreme Court.
Do you need interpretation? So you just pick a dictionary to find what is the meaning of sovereignty.
There are different ways of interpreting the Constitution.
I mean, it's as simple as
it's not always a dictionary.
I am telling you.
It's not always literal.
No, but I'm
it's not always. It's not always dictionary.
Please, I beg. I am telling you that there are certain lawyers. They have their role. Please, they have their role in certain areas of the law. But there are certain areas of the law that is clear and explicit. The one example is 97 G and H.
See, the fact that you think it's clear and explicit, and Larata doesn't think it's clear and explicit, it's the reason why the Supreme Court is there. Because two of you have different opinions on the same issue. That's why the Supreme Court, the Constitution itself allows you to come to the Supreme Court.
Please, I am saying
if
that
you need a matter to be interpreted.
Clauses,
the same Constitution you're referring to.
There are certain clauses that does not need this extensive charade. This one is clear.
Okay.
Do you get me? It is clear within the jurisdiction in which this law applies. And it is also clear and in tandem with the constitution of the party in question. Have you seen the NDC contesting? They have removed one of their members because it is in tandem with their constitution. And this is in tandem with the MPP. Go and read the MPP constitution. Theirs is even stronger than this one. They say automatically you are gone. So now, instead of making this a legal issue, you have turned it into a political issue. Because it is about a group of people who are afraid to lose some kind of control. But they don't have any control in the parliament because it is 137, 137. It's a magnanimity of the speaker that has allowed this to happen. Because initially, as I said, the independent candidate should always remain independent. Vote with MPP and come back and sit in their seat. Do you get me? But because they added and said we are majority former, did they have the same colors? During the election 2020, what colors did a former MP, what colors did he use? As an independent candidate, did he use MPP colors? The notice of polls, what was their independence? So now these two people sitting there, their heart is not even there. Let's even leave the legal aspects. Their heart is not there. But you see what? Let me tell you, see, MPP, if they think that they can do this to us, on the 7th of December, 2024, they cannot stay at Tambo. They cannot stay our thumb.
They cannot stay the proceedings of your thumb.
They cannot stay it. Because then we are going to use that thumb to get them out.
All right.
We will sack them. Do you get it? I mean, seriously, now, this is very unfortunate. Me, yesterday, I watched half and I stopped. Because, you see, then I needed my blood pressure medicine. I noticed that if I added on, I have to take more.
That's dangerous.
No, because seriously, now why should we go through all this? Just because of a simple clause, just because of a group of people who have an ego.
Okay.
And you see, let me finish. The CJ made certain comments. Me, she's a woman. When I'm talking about women, I'm a bit careful because when women are in a high place, I respect. I mean, it makes me happy. It adds on to the 30% and that high place. And I've met her severally. Very nice person. But you see, the condition, the things that she said, I beg go, please. It is no law.
What is not law?
That she's saying that, oh, they will lose their allowances. That is not part of the law. She said that they will lose.
All right, let me read what she said.
Yes, she said they will lose.
She said the effect of the Speaker's ruling would be that salaries, allowances, and other entitlements of these members of Parliament would have to stop being paid immediately. Indeed, one of the 4 members of Parliament is the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
So that one is a law. Is that more important? That is not law. What about those who lost their jobs when MPP came? And 8 years they haven't had salary.
But the judges don't only speak
I am asking you. We are talking
there
law.
are other things they
Please,
say in
I beg
addition.
you, this is not church. This is law. We are talking about law. Is that law?
Okay.
I mean, is it in the Constitution? Is it part of the interpretation? Okay. I just want to find out.
Okay.
Do you get me? I thought that speedily the Chief Justice should come and say it means that everybody will be quiet. G means this, H means that, and we are all going.
All right. So that's the statement Nanaya referred to on the screen. We just put it up there for you. I'm going to read some of your messages, and then I told you we're going to take a look. Okay, so there it is again. The effect of the Speaker's ruling would be that the salaries, allowances, and other entitlements of these members of Parliament would have to stop being paid immediately. Indeed, one of the 4 members of Parliament is the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and that was one of the CJ's statements.
He's Deputy Speaker. He didn't know that the law is like this.
All right. So I'll read some of your messages. I'll come back to you. I'll read some messages, and then we will watch one of the lawyers who have spoken since this ruling yesterday, Lawyer Martin Pepu, last night on Ghana Tonight. So this message says that Dr. Bajese, in the case of ex parte Shraj, into brackets, Richard Anani, interested party, opined as follows. On the authorities, it's clearly wrong to suppose that an issue of constitutional interpretation in the sense established by the cases such as ex parte Akosa would arise where parties take rival positions or make rival arguments as to the meaning or effect of a constitutional provision. The authorities, as established above, are indeed overwhelming that an issue of distinctive interpretation would warrant a reference under Article 132. All right. The message is long, but I think the first part of the message basically captures the point you're trying to make this morning. Read more messages. The Supreme Court doesn't have the country at heart. They are doing more politics with this country. the CJ and her people should please come again. And that's from Papa Yenzu Kwanzaa. All right, texting us from Kwesimin Tim. I read one more messages and then we'll listen to lawyer Martin Pebu. All right. Now, good morning. This is Money Money. So now the Article 97, when can it be applied? We want to know when the people we want to know exactly when Article 97 can be applied. All right, that's what we're all trying to figure out, what it even means.
With the submission
all right.
Nanaya made, I wanted to read Article 99 of the 1992.
Referring to the High Court.
Article 99.
All right. So while she opens that reference in 99, let us listen to lawyer Martin Pebu from Ghana Tonight last night.
You want to see that the practice is settled. Even you check the proceedings of 18th October, the lawyer who applied, Pakwesi Abedu, he himself told the court, is there, you can check, that he wants the order for 10 days, because that is the settled practice. Settled. If the court is going to go bring a new rule, it's not done in the fashion the Supreme Court did. Then they had to give very detailed reasons to persuade lawyers and other persons interested in reading. But if you read the orders of the 18th of October, no detailed reasoning and persuasion was offered. So today's resort to Article 2 is not persuasive at all. And the more the Supreme Court digs in its heels, the more it will lose us, because you're losing lawyers. You're losing lawyers, and that shouldn't be. Because you see, for us to say openly that we disagree with the Supreme Court, it doesn't come lightly. So before you see a lawyer say, I disagree with the Supreme Court on X, Y, Z, then it tells you it's indefensible. Because when it's 50-50, people will just rather shut up because they say, well, it's a discretion. And you know, each person, the Supreme Court judge has a discretion and he exercises it that way. So, well, we may not make too much noise when it's 50-50. But this one is very settled, very, very, very settled, that if you go alone, that's one party and the lawyer, go alone to the court for an injunction, and in this case, and it applies to this stay of execution, usually that order is for 10 days. Check the proceedings of 18th October and the orders made on that day. The Supreme Court did not persuade anybody as to why the order should last to the end of the case. And I believe today's resort to Article 2 is too late. It's just too little too late. The court is losing us. And you see the Afro barometer thing on distrust in the judiciary. You see it's coming down from 65% in 2012. The latest one says what? 35%. So from 2012 to 2024, about how many? 12 years on, the trust in the judiciary has been halved. So I thought that the court would be mindful of some of those things. And the way, you know, in recent times, many people are talking, many people are railing and railing. So I thought the court would have been mindful of that and seen how to handle this application so that at least Parliament's dignity is restored to a certain extent. But today, standing in court throughout the proceedings, I didn't get that at all. It's a disappointment. Now, you see the trust in the judiciary will go down and down, because then quickly, right? You see, even the matter of Justice Ernest Gawu was raised, that he was an MPP parliamentary candidate. That's also something they should have just removed.
And that was lawyer Martin Pebu last night on Ghana Tonight, and he's a legal practitioner, private legal practitioner, obviously not in agreement with the Supreme Court's decision. He says that the Supreme Court is losing lawyers, and it's not an easy thing for him as a lawyer to say, to openly disagree with the Supreme Court. Now, you were asking Nanaya to read Article 99, referring to the High Court's jurisdiction to hear matters of this nature.
She was making a long argument about it, so let's move on. You are explaining
let's move on. Let me come back to you, Prof. I've been here for a while. Now, considering all this, what do you think the way forward should be? Some have recommended, some have said that, you know what, Parliament should just internally, I think you even mentioned it earlier, Parliament should just internally resolve this matter and abide by what the Speaker says, being the leader of the House, and stop taking matters which, you know, parliamentary issues to the judiciary, because that just causes a problem. Thinking about, you know, what separation of powers is supposed to be, I mean, there are opposing views. Do you think that this matter should just be brought back to the floor of Parliament and resolved, abiding by the Speaker's rules, and, you know, we just end it there?
Yeah, honestly, the case shouldn't have gone to Supreme Court at the first place. I see the action of the MPP leader as an ego issue. And probably he did that because he knows the outcome or whatever he's going to do there. It's just like a child whose parents or mother always protect him or her, whether the child is right or wrong. And so the child will always go out there and misbehave. And when you want to beat, the child goes, you know, to hide behind the mother or the father, because you know that the father will always protect. That seems to be what is happening. I believe that the leader of MPP understands the Constitution. If not even the Constitution, their own Constitution, he understands it. And it's in black and white. You automatically forfeit your seat if you declare yourself as an independent candidate. I see this whole issue of even the delay with the interpretation as a political gimmick. Why I'm saying so? Because, I mean, how long does it take for one to interpret something for the general public? Why is the Supreme Court delaying it? We saw what happened to Domelovo. Is it a strategy? Look, I think that the Supreme Court should see itself as the last resort as far as our democracy is concerned. And what they are doing, they are only increasing the tension in the country, which is not good for us. I would wish that the MPP go back to Parliament and sit where they are supposed to sit. That's the minority side, because the Constitution is clear. This gimmick would not send us anywhere. You know, sadly enough, they go about saying that MDC is trying to thwart the effort of government business. Meanwhile, they were the people who walked out when they were supposed to sit and bring government business for discussion. Sadly enough, in the midst of all this, we didn't hear the Council of Elders.
Council of State.
Council of State. We didn't hear anything from Peace Council. We didn't hear anything from people who had voices.
The Council of
in
State
2016.
Yeah.
We are not hearing them.
They met too late.
To say that some of these things are wrong. We cannot try to let the judiciary look as if an appendage of MPP. It's wrong. In 2020, they saw it okay for a seat to be vacant, because today we are having a hung parliament. And so they want to say that the Article 97 needs an interpretation, something that is so clear. I would say that the MPP should eat the humble pie. They have prepared a solution which is more or less like a poison, and they have to go and drink their own poison by going to sit where they are supposed to sit, which is the minority side. Because as far as the Constitution is stated, or as far as the Constitution is concerned, they are minority in Parliament because they have 135 seats and NDC has 136 seats. They should go and sit and debate government business. Look, if they keep on delaying and playing this political gimmick, it goes against them.
How that?
Because time is ticking. They have a lot of, again, bills to pass, and sadly enough, the issue of the galamsey we've been talking about, where they said, oh, organized labor should call off strike. They are going to make sure that they repeal the airline that allowed people to go and mine in forest. That is not part of the bill. They are rather thinking about what? Tax waivers. Tax waivers. And we all
You're referring
know,
to the notice they wrote to the
we
Speaker
all
asking
know
for the emergency.
that these tax waivers, it's like giving something to somebody with your right and taking it from the back with your...
Is that so?
That seems to be, that is
All right.
of importance.
All right,
so
Prof.
for me, I will say
forget it all and go
they
back.
should just go back and sit at the minority seat, because as far as the Constitution is concerned, we cannot all pretend that the Constitution is not clear. It is clear and it is in black and white. They should go and sit at the minority side. They should stop.
Thank you.
Playing this gimmick of being the majority.
Me, I think that goes out looking for problems when there's none.
She goes out.
Yes, today we did not discuss the Boko issue.
Yeah.
Because this is a situation where the CJ has ordered for them to close courts.
Yeah.
Almost all the courts in the Upper West region. And yet, where they were burning cars, that is in Wali Wali, their courts are opened. That's where I have a problem with our CJ. That it's beginning to look like she is part of the MPP. It's beginning to look like that. I mean,
what's the correlation?
The correlation is that, look, there's a problem in Boko. For us who are in Boko, we believe that it's a political problem. It is no longer chieftaincy matter or anything. I don't want, like I said, it's not on the table for discussion.
Yes.
But because of the way we have discussed the issue of the Speaker and Parliament, and the fact that she dismissed the Speaker's issues, and we are now sitting here, I am for the fact that Parliament could have resolved this thing by themselves, so they should go back to Parliament. In the same vein, I am asking myself, is it something that she's just going out to satisfy certain quarters? Because at the end of the day, there is a problem in Boko, and then you say you have closed all the courts in Boko and its environs. Garu is different. It's a district by itself. Zuwaringu, Bongo, Bolgatanga Circuit High Court and Circuit Court.
That decision was made based on information she has on
What
the
information?
danger that the workers of the courts and so on would be in those specific areas where the courts have been closed.
Please, what danger? How about the fact that in Wali Wali they were burning vehicles and they were murdering people there? How come the court in Wali Wali is that one? There's no danger.
Do you have any information as to why that particular court was not closed?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Why is it that she's not closing that? I'm asking her now. I'm using this medium to ask her, why is it that the court in Wali Wali is not closed, and those of Boko and its environs are the ones that are closed? You know, it's beginning to sound like a broken record when you are talking about the CJ and all other things that are coming out of the Supreme Court. If 65% of Ghanaians feel that they do not trust the Supreme Court anymore, then there is a problem. And she must wake up to those issues. I totally feel that as at now, Ghanaians are beginning to feel like the CJ seems to have an agenda or is following a certain agenda that we don't know of. Some of us think of it in other ways. You understand? That's why I'm saying that it looks like she's meddling into other issues. I don't understand how a situation in Boko where there are still government workers, it's not like everybody has gone. There are still government workers in Boko. So how do you go Zuarungu? It's far away from Boko. Bongo, far away from Boko. And
there's no violence in those areas. There's no
violence in Zuaringo, there's no violence in Bongo, there's no violence in, and you go closing their courts. All you're telling me is that you are making some people suffer. What happens to those on remand in those courts and the police stations? What happens to them? What happens to those who have cases in those courts? Now, what happens if anybody anything should happen in Boko and somebody wants representation? You have to come all the way maybe to Tamale. Or as a Kusasi, probably, you have to come all the way to the Mamprisi area, those that are also having a problem with the people in Boko.
All right. All right. Well, I guess those are questions left to be answered.
Yes, you must answer them.
Those are questions left to be answered. Rodlin, thank you. Laura, too. I'll take your final words.
Auntie Rodalyn has just thrown me, because I mean, just to add on to what she's saying, and on a point that she made before I even come to Prof's propaganda. The issue in Boko is not something that anybody should be excited about. Yeah. And I think that on the notes that Auntie Rodalyn goes as is being political now. I think politicians like her in Boko owe us that duty to make sure that this issue, in collaboration with other state agencies, comes to an end. Because once you know what is causing it, there should be a way to deal. And I think people like her, who have been in the forefront across the various political parties, should come together and nip this in the bud, because this reoccurrence is not helping anybody. And women and children are the worst affected in these places. Yeah. We are talking about courts being closed. Government workers are still there. What if, with all this curfew, even with all the people there, nothing will be happening? So I think that, Auntie, those of you who lead the charge on all that should come together and make sure that this do. Because at the end of the day, me coming from Savannah cannot understand the issues in Boko like Auntie will. So I think all of them, leading figures in the various political parties, should come together and make sure that this thing is solved. To go back to Prof's propaganda, I like the way she keeps hitting on the MPP constitution, that it says automatic.
It was actually Nanaya who...
No, she also said it. As for Nanaya, she's already made her stance clear when it comes to the MPP and the NDC. She stands with the NDC's flag bearer, so that's fine. But let me go to that. You said that on Saturday. You said you stand with your mama.
I said I stand with you on something that
okay, that's fine. Thank you for clarifying.
Please don't
okay, so thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying. Nana,
with him, it's better.
Okay, good. You are standing with him. That's fine. So I don't even need to go to you. I like the way they start hitting automatic. Even in all that automatic they are hitting. In the case of Honorable Esiama, in the case of Honorable Esiama, in the name of Honorable Esiama, in the name of Honorable Esiama, the party wrote to Speaker.
Okay.
Speaker didn't make a decision based on it. So let's put the issues in context. I mean,
but does your constitution not say automatic?
It does say automatic.
Why do you need somebody to...
We know that people are campaigning.
Okay, please allow her to speak. Thank you.
Let Laura to speak.
Please allow her to
Laura
speak.
Please go ahead.
Please go ahead.
I have quite something. Go on.
Thank you.
You're lucky Auntie is here like today.
Nana, please let her speak.
Now I'm being threatened.
No threats allowed. No threats allowed.
Go ahead.
So, Nana, you're saying that, oh, your understanding is clear and all that. Your understanding of situation. That's why we have lawyers in here. You can be having issues with your landlord and other things. Some of the things are clear.
You haven't paid your rent.
Nana, don't do that. Please allow her to speak. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. Yes, Laura, please go ahead.
Look, we've had people campaigning. Oh, I want to be president. I want to be MP. But until they officially are on the poll, they can't hold themselves as official candidates. So some of these things do it. And who has to do the entire? And that's why I say that with the standing orders, nobody comes to contest the speaker. And with the dog's argument, should we also say that the speaker is doing NDC business because he's a known? No. Because on his side, he's supposed to be the arbiter between the two sides. You get it? So when we make some of these arguments, we need to, at the end of the day, what is the way forward? Can it be dealt with internally with all the experience of the first deputy speaker and the former majority leader and all that, with the experience of the former minority leader and all those people? Can this be solved internally? We need to look at it. That's why I said, let's commend Council of State for coming out. Anybody say, oh, they've come out too late? They've come out. They've engaged with the Speaker. The Speaker had cause to release a statement based on that meeting. things are being done. What is the way forward? What is the opportunity cost of keeping these 4 MPs out of Parliament as against the good of the Ghanaian people? We need to look at all those things.
All right. I'm going to try to read some of your messages which are coming this morning before we wrap up. But Auntie Nanaya, you have the final word.
Naratu said that even if you have an issue with your landlord concerning your rent, you can go to court. When that paper do you write? Tenancy agreement is over and you owe rent. You don't need a lawyer to interpret it to you. It is clear and categorical.
Where are people going to rent control all the time?
You see, that is when it is not clear. The judgment of God is swift and good. And we all see the judgment of God. You see, the sad thing is that the MPP has fallen on its back. And as big as they are, they are just holding on to thin straws. The big elephant has fallen back flat. And imagine an elephant that has fallen. It cannot get up again. And that is what they are doing. They are just holding on to the thin straws.
Sorry.
The elephant is finished. Do you get it? The elephant is finished. So that is what is happening now. Let me tell you something. This morning when I was bathing, I felt sad.
Why?
I said that me and my children, can we get judgment, swift judgment and good judgment and justice in this nation? Maybe I have to migrate.
Why?
Because you see,
justice
when something is so clear in our constitution, we need to go round it because it is NDC. Because they don't want NDC to be majority. But if you do your things well, you'll be majority. You were 169, you came to 137. Because you didn't do your things well. And now 137, the same behavior that you have has made you lose 2 seats. I said it last week here, I don't have to repeat it. The same behavior that made you lose from 169 to 137. Even that one through orchestration, you are 137.
Orchestration.
People died. Have the people who died, have we been able to find justice for them? So the Supreme Court is not aware that 8 people have died, blood of Ghanaians, the people who have the sovereignty of this nation in their bosom.
And matters must be brought to the Supreme Court before they can preside over
So they don't know that people have died. The council of the state that they've gone to back, but they don't know that people have died. We have said it variously. They don't know. 8 people, we are back in election 2024. How many days? About 30-something days.
37 days.
We don't know who killed these people. Do you get it? We don't know who killed these people. You fell from 160-something to 137. The same thing that made you fall. You are still doing it, and now they're falling flat.
How is CPP doing?
And you are holding on to this thing. Look, when I was the General Secretary...
She's no longer the General Secretary of the
CPP.
But she's still a member of the CPP.
We are doing good. when I was General Secretary for the CPP, yes, we are doing very well. Both of us, we are CPP. And we will always be CPP. You see, even your flag bearer is CPP. Your president is CPP.
I just asked how CPP is
So
doing.
the matter is that you remember
because you're a member of the CPP.
When I was General Secretary of the CPP, there was an issue regarding limited registration. So we, the other parties, decided to go to have a press conference, impress on the EC to do it at the polling station level, electoral area level, because the CI says, and the Constitution says that the registration should be close to the people. But they were doing it in the district. Eventually, we took this to the Supreme Court, to the High Court, to the Supreme Court for interpretation. The case was heard on the day that the registration ended.
On the day it ended?
Yes. That was the day that was fixed for adjudication of the matter. Do you understand? So we need to be very careful in this country.
Yeah,
right.
This is our homeland, Ghana.
All right.
We should make our nation
great and strong.
Bold.
Thank you so much.
To defend forever.
All right, thank you so much. Nanaya Achimpim Jantwa, Rodlin Imoro Iana, Loratu Musa Saka, and Professor Benedicta Yaiwa Fosu Mensa. Ladies, it's been great having you. Thank you,
Thank you for having us.
for comporting yourselves also. I appreciate all of you greatly.
So you are saying we don't comport us?
This is I'm reading a message. I'm reading a message to you. I'm reading a message to you. Yeah, thank the ladies for comporting themselves. Issues-based arguments are the way to go. Let us respect the ruling of the Supreme Court. This is a message from Junior.
Who is Junior?
I don't know Junior.
I'm sure she's
And Evans Dinku also says another MPP dictionary review means concealed. Social policies means digitalization, and automatic means maintained. All right. I'm sorry I cannot read any more of your messages, but I'm so grateful that you sent them in. Still to come, you can cash out this morning if you haven't dialed *439#. Now is the time to do so. Dial *439# and win at least 2,000 Ghana cedis on the show this morning. Cookie is here with the cash. Cookie, what? Cookie Mama Cash, yes. Cookie Mama Cash is here. Original Mama Cash, Cash Money Cookie. Cash Money Cookie is here. So if you haven't dialed, now is the time to dial. We're giving 8,000 Ghana cedis to you this morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The 5 kg of rice has moved from 25 cedis to 165. Oh.
Hey!
Boss, cement moved from 24 cedis to 105 cedis now. Hey!
The kenke is 5 cedis. The fish, I have 10, 15, and 20 cedis. Which one do you want?
Hey!
Stop the A.
Hey!
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Santex and Crown Paints. Excellent paint that is resistant to peeling, mold, algae, and fungus. It comes in a wide range of colors with high opacity, high spread rate, and dries fast. No after paint stench. Santex and Crown Paints are distributed by Bamson Company Limited. Locate us at Sickens House, Old Fatima Road, South Industrial Area, Accra, or any of our branches in Adabraka, East Legon, Tema, and Adum in Kumasi. Call or WhatsApp us on 0573839640. Santex and Crown Paint. It's not just paint. It's personal.
Hi, my name is Ochiame Kwame, the rap doctor. You know me as the musician. But today I come to you as the owner of OK World Travel and Tours. I created this travel and tour solution because I wanted to give you an experience that you have trusted already, that you can still trust. I know a lot of people have been to Dubai and Qatar already, but I know you have not been to Dubai and Qatar in the new year. So if you have not been, we are going from 31st of December to 6th January. Come and go with us. For only $3,000, we are going to cover your visa support. We are going to give you 4-star accommodation. We are going to give you food, all breakfast, some dinners and some lunches, and it will be amazing. On a yacht ride, you are going to have a great time. So call 0544-355-777. And don't forget to bring the whole family. We close entry on 22nd of November. See ya.
See, Master, I have told you to use Kojak quality oral care products like the Kojak Charcoal toothpaste for strong teeth. Give me the meat.
Sis, that guy.
Ajay, my teeth.
Sis, haven't you heard of Kojak P&F toothpaste and their mouthwash? Right after here, get one for yourself. It helps fight sensitive teeth just like you're experiencing. Hey, sis.
Yes. Do not joke with your teeth because it may worry you in the future. Over the past 30 years that we introduced Procode onto the market, that has no competitor. We have again introduced Kojak Oral Care onto the market with the same high quality standard like Kojak Charcoal toothpaste that makes your teeth whiter and stronger. Kojak Regular Fluoride toothpaste that makes your teeth stronger, fights against toothache, and lathers well, leaving your mouth with an improved fresh taste and breath. If you have a sensitive teeth when you take something cold or hot, yours is to go for Kojak P and Kojak F. Together with the mouthwash, go for Kojak Oral Care products because Kojak D, EB quality keke.
This advert is FDA approved.
Luckiest.
*712#.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a package from your Wallah. Hey, wait.
You go put it on this tab. This is my man.
Good luck. We build radio. We have star 712. It's your phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. That's it. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there, tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
Elevate your Sundays with the ultimate mix of entertainment that will get you moving. Touching stories that will inspire.
When you were going through this,
I have to be a divorce.
Why?
Because it got to a time that I have to choose my life over my marriage.
The latest in current affairs.
If you stop liking my music because of my political affiliation, you never liked my music.
No minister or party person can say that they gave me cash in my time of work and none of them.
Fun games for the whole family.
The Day Show, Sundays at 3 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Cowbell Coffee, Onga.
This is where conversations ignite and stories inspire.
What mental state do you think a woman needs to be to get to the point of saying, I'm just gonna hit and run?
The educational system, it wasn't rich enough to support that dream.
We bring together incredible women from all walks of life who are making waves and lifting each other up.
The personal lives are even now affecting things like, marriages, relationships.
It takes women some maybe 140 years to attain the same leadership as men.
It's real talk, real fun, and a whole lot of love.
The Ladies Circle shows Saturdays at 6 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Yaz Sanitary Pad, MTN,
Woodine,
Cowbell Coffee, Betway.
It's the king. What you say? I am.
All right. Cash Money Cookie, I am back. Time for sports. But today, I want to start dishing out the money much quicker than I usually do. Now, 4 people are walking away with 2,000 Ghana cedis each
today, meaning that one person wins 2,000 Ghana cedis. And I've got even better news. If you don't win 2,000 Ghana cedis today, we are randomly choosing 30 people who are getting a bonus of 200 Ghana cedis. I mean, how cool is that? If you don't win the 2,000 Ghana cedis, we are randomly selecting 30 people who will win 200 Ghana cedis. I mean, Umpewe, what else do you want? What are you waiting for? If you haven't played yet, *439#, *439#. You just have to be a Telecel or MTN subscriber. Very, very simple. Now you choose option 2. Option 2, after dialing *439# on your phone, please choose option 2. It will show you TV3. Follow the rest of the prompts and you're winning either 2,000 or getting a bonus of 200 Ghana cedis. Harriet, if you're ready, let's draw the very first one. The very first winner, and please, Coco and Harriet, make sure you call the winner for me so I can have a word. Yes, Mama Cash, I'm here. I want to have a word with the winner. So our very first winner for the morning, MTN number 024234. Oh, I love the number 02423433. 3 numbers after that one. Congratulations to you. You've just won 2,000 Ghana cedis. Should I do another one? Should I do another one right now? Okay, you know what? Let's get into sports. I'm giving you the opportunity to play if you haven't played yet. You already know the rules of engagement. Don't play once, don't play twice, don't play 3 times. Play as many times as possible. So get in the game, but now it is time for sports.